Oh yeah! We had a little Zion sighting last night, and he must be getting closer to returning to the court. I cannot wait for that, and I cannot wait to get started on today's highlights. If you don't know by now, man, get out from under that rock and get into another edition of Friday Night Lights. The perfect mix of highlights, X's and O's, and a little of that funny, focusing on last night's slate of games in a way only B-Ball Breakdown can. We start out in New York, and the Pelicans are on a hot streak, winners of 7 of their last 9 games in anticipation of adding Holy Mount Zion. And it was Brandon Ingram continuing his breakout season by dropping a cool 28 points on the Knicks' head from all over the court. Check this high post split where Ingram screens for Redick, and while the spacing got screwy, Portis stared into Redick's eyes too long, Ingram got the open look, and this is what we call in the old country 3 points. They break into a little weave on the right side of the floor, and on the switch we got Dookie on Dookie. Watch Ingram stick it, glide, right by Barrett for the hoedown, throwdown. That's how we roll. Some nice finishing on this ISO as he gets by his initial man with a spin, but watch the feet work. It's a right-left jump, which would normally indicate a right-handed shot, but he sees Taj coming over and switches to the left-hand finger roll over the front of the rim. In this concrete jungle where dreams are made of, Ingram let the offense work for him, spotting up in that left corner while Hayes gets the pocket pass right back to Ball, and Barrett is late rotating to the corner, and any Knicks and Nets sitting courtside give me high fives. Just don't trip the referee. Speaking of the Nets, they did a number on the Miami Heat, ending a 7-game losing streak by hitting them with a fourth quarter run. This is supposed to be ice defense, but Luau Cabarro needs to get between the ball and the basket. Butler keeps his man at bay and hits him with the lay. But the Butler did it, as he foolishly helps one pass away off friend of the breakdown Spencer Dinwiddie, who hops into an open 3, and the lead is starting to crumble for the Heat. With the shot clock winding down, Karis LeVert catches Adebayo way too low, rises up with the almost floater from the three-point line, and we've got a moon over Miami. The Heat offense completely fell apart. It looked like no one wanted to shoot the ball, and the shot clock winds down with a desperation heave. At least it wasn't a live ball turnover. A simple ball screen gets the defense to high hedge, but doing this gets Duncan Robinson so out of position. How out of position was he? He was so out of position he can never recover, and the player currently known as Prince gets right to the hole. This isn't a replay, folks, it's a mirror image. High hedging shouldn't be a thing anymore, as Robinson is again forced to play catch-up on LeVert, who calmly steps behind the line and gets the Nets the lead. The Heat have only their defense to blame. Even though they've got the Nets all out of sorts, we've got James Johnson helping off his man this much one pass away. It allows the easy cut, and Prince gets the little hook to drop, and that's all the Nets needed. I bet you didn't know the Memphis Grizzlies had gritted and grinded to 4 straight wins and are now tied with the Spurs for the 8th spot after putting San Antonio in its place last night. It was the Jaren Jackson Jr. show with a lot of help from Ja Morant, and with so many Jays involved, it's no surprise they hooked up on this inside ball screen. The Spurs' only hope is if Lonnie Walker can get to this pass in time. Spoiler alert, he can't. I don't recommend shooting like this, folks, but Jackson is making me rethink everything as he's well above 40% on high volume this season. Murray's a step late on this extra rotation, and the Grizzlies are mauling the Spurs. Ja Morant got 14 dimes in this game. With a defender in front of him and on his side, the best way to make this pass is behind the back, right to Valanciunas for the wide open triple. I love Morant's style. He gets it. And check the inside out into a one-handed lefty push pass for the nice finish by Slow-Mo at the rim. And the spacing and movement was just too much for San Antonio. The backdoor cut gets Morant right into the lane. DeRozan should have been the guy rotating to the shooter on this one, and Dillon Brooks begins the process of finishing off the Spurs early. Let's do something different on this one, folks. Who needs all that fancy schmancy offense when it was the defense that controlled this game for the Jazz, forcing 20 turnovers from the hapless Hornets? It started early as Mitchell reads this pinch post play easily, and Bridges just throws it to him. More great hustle from Donovan as he chases Graham around the screen. Rudy has to step up, so Mitchell's one job is to get to the screener. Great deflection and heads-up play to save it right to Jingles. You might not have known Rajon Tucker's name before this, but fantastic help rotation to support Mitchell on this duck-in. And a cold embarrassment to PJ Washington as he gets his cookies snatched. When Rudy is forced to come over to help contain the drive, it's free safety Jordan Clarkson that reads this coffin corner pass all the way. On the handoff, check how Rudy stunts the ball handler, luring him into throwing this pass. But Gobert was right there, and the deflection gets them possession. And Miles Bridges was probably saying "Crikey" as the Australian waits for the exact moment when he turns his back to spring the double team, and the Jazz hand the Hornets a huge loss. Let's head to Dallas for the fourth meeting between the Lakers and Mavericks, and this whole torch passing thing between LeBron and Luka might have to be put on hold. What you'll see in this footage might disturb you, especially if you have problems with graphic images of a superhuman manhandling other professional athletes like they weren't even on the court guarding him. Unless the Mavericks can find someone that can physically handle LeBron better than this, they have no hope of beating them in the playoffs. And oh yeah, AD sat this one out. LeBron had dimes too. In this Horn set, they run him off a double pin down into handoff. This was supposed to be a switch of the Boban onto James, but it's too late to call it off here, and it's an easy oop. But LeBron has deep pockets too, as this pocket pass is perfectly timed and aimed to get right to JaVale as Powell pogos out of the way. And let's not forget they have Kyle Kuzma, who makes it unfair when he gets going by creating his own shot from deep, all of which propel the Lakers to a resounding road win. And that does it for me as well. Another edition of Friday Night Lights coming at you. So tell your friends and neighbors to tune in every Saturday to find out what and how and why it all went down. You in? I know I am.